Hi, I'm Blair Grossman with Personal Chef To Go, and today I'm going to show you how to make a brain-boosting smoothie. These are smoothies that I have been incorporating into my diet that has helped me to maintain my weight, have great energy, feel relaxed, and well-nourished. I got this information by reading Dr. Eric Braverman's groundbreaking book, The Younger, Thinner You. And in it, Dr. Braverman, who runs a medical practice in New York City, through integrative medicine, shows that a healthy body sits atop a well-nourished brain. And what do we mean by a well-nourished brain? We're talking about having the essential neurotransmitters that are important to maintain the proper body weight, energy, and also stave off the aging process. So some of these neurotransmitters that you may or may not know of are dopamine. And what is dopamine? If you lack dopamine, you feel tired. You don't have enough energy. You may sleep a little longer and you wake up tired. Dopamine, when you lack dopamine, you also increase the hormone cortisol. And cortisol has been associated with hanging on to belly fat. Another neurotransmitter that we're going to incorporate into our smoothie is serotonin. Serotonin is in real depletion these days because we're a sleep-deprived society. So the best way to get serotonin is really to get a good 8 to 10 hours of sleep a night. But if that's hard for most of us who lead a busy life. So one of the ways we can increase serotonin is foods like whey protein, salmon, nuts, sardines. These things can boost your serotonin levels, which also reduce your craving for simple carbohydrates. Another neurotransmitter that's important for our brain is acetylcholine. And when you're deficient in acetylcholine, you crave fatty foods, pizza, French fries, burgers. This is your brain telling you, I need fat, I need acetylcholine. But we can replace that with one of the best sources of acetylcholine, which is soy lecithin. Soy lecithin, not to be confused with the soy lecithin that's sort of predominant in a lot of packaged processed foods. It is an emulsifier, but this is a non-GMO soy lecithin granule, and it is loaded with the choline that your body, your brain needs to stay nourished. In fact, our brain is mostly made of lecithin, so why not give your brain what it's made of? And finally, there's a neurotransmitter called GABA. This stands for gamma aminobutyric acid. And GABA is what controls our anxieties. It keeps us in control. If you feel anxious, if you're an impulsive eater, if you lack portion control, binge eating, probably you're deficient in GABA. And one of the ways that GABA is increased is through the green tea. Green tea has an amazing amino acid called theanine, and L-theanine is the predominant source in green tea. And we're going to use green teas today in our smoothie. So another good source of GABA is, again, whey protein. Now I'm using a whey protein that is clean. It doesn't have any artificial sweeteners or additives. So let's just get started with what I typically do every day to make a brain-boosting smoothie that will suppress my appetite, give me enough nourishment for my brain that keeps me on track. The first thing I want to do is get a dose of protein. So we're going to add some of our whey protein, and this is about 16 grams per serving. Typically, if you're an active person, you need about a half a gram to a gram of protein per pound of body weight. Then I'm going to add my friend yogurt. In this book, yogurt, particularly Greek yogurt, is used a lot. Again, calcium-rich foods have been shown to burn body fat. And also, they're full of great nutrients and calcium. So I'm putting in about a half a cup. Now in the video, I'm not giving this as a typical recipe, so you don't have to take notes. I will be providing some recipes that you can follow along. But the basic idea is to find the foods that you like and incorporate them into these smoothies. One of the things I want to talk about is incorporating tea into your diet. In this book, Dr. Braverman recommends that we drink tea at almost every meal. I've brewed some green tea, which is very high in the calming amino acid theanine. I'm also using what's called matcha. Matcha is a green tea powder, and it is, I get it available online. You can buy a pound of it, food grade. It's the ingredient that is used in Chinese tea ceremonies, or Japanese tea ceremonies, and green tea ice creams. So I'm going to add a little bit of my matcha green tea for energy, and then I'm actually going to use the water from the brewed green tea that I use. So I'm getting a double dose of green tea for the calming, energy producing properties. Next, I wanted to talk about spices. Spices such as cinnamon have been shown to regulate blood sugar. They produce energy. They're called thermogenic herbs and spices. And a little bit of cinnamon on your yogurt makes it a lot more heart healthy. Little nutmeg is also a great energy boosting spice. Ginger I use predominantly in everything. Ginger is one of the best heart healthy roots. It definitely protects against heart disease. Now when we talk about adding the choline, which is important for your acetylcholine where you crave the fats, I'm adding about 3 tablespoons of soy lecithin granules. Now this will add about 180 calories to your smoothie because it is predominantly fat, but it's a good fat. The next thing I'm going to add, you probably heard a lot about chia seeds. Chia seeds are an amazing superfood. They absorb 12 times their volume in water. They have 3 tablespoons of chia seeds has almost half your day's requirement of fiber. And that adds about 150 calories also. But chia seeds are amazing for making you feel full. Fiber lets you feel full. It helps with digestion, and it's very rich in essential amino acids. I'm going to add a little bit of ground flax seed. I don't need to add as much because the chia seeds have lots of the omega-3 fatty acids. But we've all heard about omega-3s, and people say, well, the best sources might be salmon. However, if you're vegetarian and you don't want to incur eating seafood, which could be high in chemicals, chia seeds, flax seeds, wonderful source. And then finally, I like to add a little bit of lime. It just for flavor, gives it a nice flavor boost. So when we get on to our fruits now, we want to add, fruits are essential. They provide a lot of vitamins, vitamin C. I'm adding about a cup of pineapple and about a cup of, now pineapple is high in sugar, so you want to be careful with that. But I'm using a triple berry mix, which has blackberries, raspberries, blueberries, and these are much lower in sugar. So you can add almost as many of these as you like. I'll add a couple cups of that. And then finally, I'm going to put in some kale because we've heard a lot about the health properties of kale. Kale keeps our bodies alkaline, and alkaline on the pH scale is what prevents a lot of diseases. When people are sick, they're usually too acidic. So this helps balance and buffer the pH of your body. It also is a great source of GABA. It's a great source of different essential vitamins, vitamins A, K, B. So now I'm going to add a little ice water because we want this to be cold. And what I'm using today is the Vitamix. Now you don't have to have a Vitamixer. You can use a NutriBullet. NutriBullet is fine. But a typical household blender may not work as well because it just doesn't have the RPMs and the blending power. So what I did here, I put it in my Vitamixer, and this is where it gets really loud. Start it out on a low speed, turn it on, and then go right to high speed. Now at this point, I like to use the plunger, which is why I like the Vitamixer, because it gives you the plunger that allows everything to be incorporated. You can see this has a very nice color. And it only takes about a minute of blending. And just using this to plunge it up. But I want to blend everything up. Now, one of the things that I stress with baking your own smoothies, you can control the amount of sugar. Most of the commercial sugars, smoothies that you get in the store are really high in fruit sugar. And this is why we like to use more lower sugar berries and sparingly with high sugar fruits such as pineapples, pomegranates, mangoes. So what I suggest people do is get some stevia. Stevia is from the truvia leaf, and it provides a sweet flavor without adding any sugar. And you definitely don't want to use artificial sweeteners, because artificial sweeteners have been linked to a lot of metabolic problems. And the research is not looking good for artificial sweeteners. In fact, studies have shown that artificial sweeteners still increase your insulin, and they do just as much damage as regular sugar. So I'll add a little bit of stevia to this, and I just blend it up after I've done the major blending, or I could have added it in later, but I wanted to show you this. And you can buy these under different brand names, but the stevia leaf is available in health food stores. I think Truvia is actually a brand name. So when thinking about what to add in a smoothie, just think of the ABCs. Antioxidants go by color. Things that are dark in color, leafy greens, beets, your dark berries. These are all, anything that is colorful is high in antioxidants. So now we've got our nice smoothie. It's creamy. The soy lecithin is an emulsifier, so it will actually provide that thickness. And this right here would represent about a 400-calorie smoothie if you had a 20 to 25-ounce serving. But the thing is, it's going to give you the essential brain nutrients that you need, the fiber that your body needs, and it will fuel you through to your lunch hour without any cravings. So we hope that you've enjoyed learning more about brain-boosting smoothies, and look for the recipe on your email. Thank you very much, and here's to your health. Delicious.